Reflux and Andre have joined forces and have stolen the scepter from Kumsi, the child king of the Knarren. Like they're going to invoke the Leptis and gain unimaginable powers, dude. This door leads to a shortcut that will allow you to catch up with them. Now hurry!
These doctors are cool, but if they want us to hurry, they could at least give us a hand. I mean, come on! Every time the world needs saving, nobody's around. Good thing we are. As if we had time for this. This looks like a magic door. If I find the right formula, it might open.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Rayman 3 HD on the Xbox 360. I'm one Welsh Sheep yet again, and Glowbox, you keep doing that rain dance sort of deal as I go and open up the way while you just keep doing things. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are now in the longest shortcut, and it basically is exactly what it says. It is the longest shortcut. We are going from point A to point B, trying to make our way through the caverns that we are trapped in. And to start things off, there's a hidden compartment back here while we're in the Rayman Racy Shoe power thingy. I don't know what this thing's called. But we basically have to go back here to collect all these gems and what have you. So, yay! I would recommend doing that, because that's a very easy area to miss. It's very easy to just ignore. I have to say as well, hitting the shoe in this particular area, it's really, really challenging, just due to the fact of how open the area is. It's very easy to just miss the shoe, and it's annoying. It's still not the most annoying shoe segment in the game, however. The most annoying shoe segment in the game is probably in the last world, I would say. But I digress. Time to get the swingy swing power and make our way up. No, Rayman, go back. You missed the switch. There's a very big obvious switch on the floor you meant to press. God damn it. But anyway, the gimmick with this particular world is we need to find all these crowns. These crowns are littered across all of the levels, and we basically need to find these in order to gain access to the exit of each area. Whenever we get, there's actually a little NG bar thing that pops up whenever we collect each of these crowns, so we'll know. I missed the. Press the bloody thing, will you? Thank you. Jesus Christ. But there's actually a little NG bar thing that pops up as we collect these crowns on the bottom of the screen, and that's basically a good way to indicate how many crowns we have left. For example, boom, 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 the NG bar goes down because we're that much closer to completing this area, you know, folks? It's actually quite a lengthy area to go through, but there are a couple of neat gimmicks that I do quite enjoy later down the line. But for the time being, we just need to manipulate our swingy swing power and, well, swing. What can I say? What can I swing? Say. What can I swing? Although, whenever we do get through a stage, you have to be wary of the timer on the floor puzzle, because when you push the button on the floor, you do have a time limit to actually go through this area and collect these crowns. Otherwise, the doors, as you can clearly see there, will lock up. So what I sort of recommend is after you clear out each room and you had to look around, jump back down to the bottom floor to press the button again. This will enable you to be able to just swing on back up further and further every time, and eventually speed run your way throughout the stage, you know, folks? It's a very simple stage. There's not much to it in the slightest. It's good stuff. What can I say? I have to say as well, I do apologize for the delay on this LP as well. It's like my Yoshi Woolly World LP that I just finished like the other day. It's I had massive issues in terms of recording this and getting ready to get this done, so I do apologize for that. Of course, if you guys are watching this LP past the day that I've recorded it, then this doesn't apply to you, so you can just ignore me, and I'm gonna shut up now. But there we go, this is the last crown of this area. Whenever we finish the crown, we go back to the main room and jump on the switch. Oh god, the audio's glitched. Ah, Jesus. It's time to sneak up and grab this thing. Like, that sound clip that they used for Glowbox with the echo, it's the same sort of way they did echoes in Sonic Adventure 2 on the Dreamcast, where they just sort of repeated the sound file twice. It's a very lazy way of doing echoes, guys. Just chuck a reverb on the voice, it's easier and it sounds more convincing, but I digress. Also, that alarm sound effect I played, that sounds very familiar to any Star Wars aficionados, because that's actually a stock sound effect that they used in the Star Wars movies, if I do recall. Like, every time an alarm plays in the Star Wars movies, for the most part, it's going to be that woo sort of noise. So, neat reference? Or is it a neat reference, or is it just people being lazy and not making their own sound effects and just going through generic stock libraries? I'm going to take my bets on stock libraries. But anyway, as you can tell, new room, there's another doorway we need to access. How do we access it? Well, it's the exact same way as we accessed it in the first part. The difference is, this time, however, we do have platforming! Well, I guess you can count the swingy swing power as platforming, but you know what I mean. We have more traditional platforming. We have to jump up from platform to platform, going into each of these alcoves, collecting all of the crowns. No idea why we have to collect the crowns. Probably because the teensies have a thing for crowns. It's like in Rayman 2, for example, where they're all arguing over who's king and who gets to wear the crown. I like that aspect of the teensies in Rayman 2. That's kind of missing in this particular Rayman game, which is a shame. In fact, a lot of things from Rayman 2 are sort of missing in this Rayman game. Like, Razorbeard, for example, he's nowhere to be found in terms of the plot. He's disappeared. He's long gone, despite the fact he escaped in Rayman 2. You know, and loads of characters from Rayman 2 just sort of dropped off the face of the earth. It's kind of strange. Even though this is considered a direct sequel to Rayman 2, there's like no continuity between the two games. It's like, what? It's kind of the same with Rayman 1 and Rayman 2 as well. Like, everything that happened in Rayman 1 seems to be pretty inconsequential because Rayman 2 has nothing to do with Rayman 1 in any way, shape, or form. And it sort of bugs me. Like, if you do a sequel, you gotta have at least something from the previous games, you know? Another thing about it, the Rayman games don't even keep the same gameplay during the sequels. Like, the only game that I think of that keeps gameplay from the sequels in the sequel is probably Rayman Legends. And of course the Raving Rabbit series, but we don't talk about that. We don't talk about the Raving Rabbit series. I don't like the Raving Rabbit series. I don't like the first one, it's a pretty neat minigame collection, but it should have stayed that. Just one minigame collection. I wanted Rayman 4, goddammit, and it turned into a minigame collection filled with bunnies. I'm like, no, I wanted Rayman 4, where we fought loads of bunnies, and that first E3 trailer for Rayman 4 was so good. Why did they change it? But I digress. Anyway, moving onwards. As you can probably already tell, the gimmick in this particular set of rooms is that the platforms are actually invisible. We need to use the mirror in the background in order to tell where the platforms are in relation to us. Pretty easy, all things considered, but it can be a little bit tricky if you're not good at depth perception. Like, I find it really awkward to do depth perception in this particular room just because what I sort of advise is forward goes backwards, and you use Rayman in the background to really judge where you're jumping and whatnot. So it's not a perfect way, but it's kind of awkward. Or you could just try and hover into the crowns from this side and just hopefully you land on a platform. I don't know. It's a tricky set of rooms. It's a neat little mechanic though. I do dig this. It's not very well used. It's like used in this one instance and the next room we're coming up to now. And that's that. That's all I can really say about it. Invisible platforms, alright. But yeah, one thing I want to mention about this particular port of the game though, even though it's running on a HD console, I've noticed the performance is a lot worse compared to like the actual GameCube, Xbox, and PS2 versions. Well, I'm not sure about the PS2 version, I haven't played that, but I assume the Xbox version is just like the GameCube version, so the performance seems to not be as smooth. It's kind of annoying.
Rayman, go play somewhere else. I'm trying to concentrate.
Oh, shut up, Goldbox, you pleb. You didn't do anything! Hey, smiley face! Oh my god, it's adorable. What a great view! That's all that is, really. It's just a great view. But yeah, if you notice, I'm always going into first-person cameras because I keep looking for those help me sort of animals, those little critters that stick to the walls all the time. Because when I was playing this game, I couldn't really hear properly. There's one of them up there. I couldn't hear properly, so I couldn't hear that noise all that well. So I just basically found myself, every room I go into, I just went into first person mode. I was like, okay, where's the thing? There must be something around here. My thingy senses are tingling. I can't remember the name of those things. What are they called? I have no idea.
Gaseous glue, this shortcut ain't so short. Looks like another job for me.
That is the joke, Glowbox. It's the reason why the level is called the longest shortcut. But now it's time for the final puzzle in this stage where we need to collect these crowns. And this one's a bit of an open area. We do need to do quite a bit of exploring in order to collect all of the crowns in this one, because there's multiple levels we can go to, and each of these multiple levels have different... You know, there's loads of different levels, there's loads of different rooms inside these levels. We just need to keep vigilant and look around in this area. It's kind of awkward. But first, you see this disc thingy? Let's punch it. We may see a familiar face if we punch this enough. Maybe, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, so I wonder who it could be. But yeah, once you punch it enough, it's going to spin rapidly, and this painting will actually open up. It's taking a long time to open up. There we go. So yeah, that's actually a secret room. It's the gate. You don't have to go into the secret room at all. There's nothing in here really, I don't think, maybe except for a couple of collectible gem crystal things. But what's that? It's Lee the fairy. Hey, you guys remember Lee? Like I went onto my rant in this first, you know, at the first half of this video, saying that characters from Rayman 2 aren't really in this game. Well, they are in the game, but the characters aren't in the game plot-wise. Like, Lee the Fairy there is just a statue. What happened to the real Lee? Who knows? He's probably dead somewhere in the ditch. But, yeah, they do have a couple of references here and there, and later down the line we're probably going to see a certain band of pirate crooks that we used to deal with. I'm just saying, maybe, perhaps... Which is going to be really, really disappointing for people who get excited about that, because there's an issue with the Xbox Live version that I'm not going to spoil until we get to seeing those pirate crooks. Because there's a real big issue on the Xbox version. It's just like if you play the game on PC and it's just not supported by a modern operating system or something, and it's that sort of glitch. It's like a graphical glitch caused by that. But I digress. Anyway, next on the agenda, we gotta go down here. So yeah, we are actually in the original room yet again. You'll notice we'll be doing a lot of backtracking throughout the course of this particular zone? Hey, it's like Sonic the Hedgehog. We're going to multiple zones. Whoa! Ugh, kill me now. And to this day, one thing I really want to stress, the water physics. Well, they're not so much physics, but the water graphics are phenomenal. Like, I've always been a sucker for water graphics, and people who've known me on, probably not on this channel so much, because I don't really mention them as much in this channel, but people who know me in general know I'm a sucker for very nice water graphics. If a game has very fancy water with the ripples and everything, I just squee over it. I just think it's really amazing if they can get a water effect done nice. It's rare you see good water effects in games, so whenever I see something especially stand out, I'm just like, ooh, it's lovely. I mean, it's far from perfect, you know, but it's a neat little effect, and I do quite enjoy it a lot. Kind of reminds me of, I think it was Ratchet & Clank, maybe 2? Where they had that Insomniac Museum, and they actually had one tile of water that had realistic water physics. But the problem is, it used basically all of the PlayStation's processing power to do the water physics in that one pool. So, at least I think that was Ratchet & Clank. I can't actually remember. I don't know. I am played through Ratchet & Clank 2 in a long time. I don't really plan on playing through it again until I actually get to my LP of that. God knows when. I haven't even tackled the first game yet, and I'm thinking about doing the second game. I mean, Jesus. Well, actually, I've recorded the first game. I record these LPs long in advance, see, folks. I actually commentate them like months and months ahead of when I actually recorded them. Which, for any people starting out on Let's Playing, I don't recommend. Because, you tend to forget a lot about what happened in each part, so I have to vividly research each part just before I start to record. Otherwise, I won't know what I'm talking about. And sometimes I just flat out forget what I'm talking about, so it's kind of awkward to do things that way, but it's the most effective for me. Anyway, to get to this side, you just need to do the punch left to right thing that we've done like 5 to 6 times in this entire game so far, so just keep doing that. It's very simple, very easy. And be sure to push the switch on the other side, because otherwise the door will be locked off and we will not be able to collect the crowns. But with that is every crown in the area, so let's go back, meet Glowbox, and hopefully get ourselves outside of this bloody shortcut, because this shortcut is way too long for its own good. Of course, it can be a little bit tricky to find your way back, but basically, a general rule of thumb is jump down and eventually you'll find your way backwards to the main room where Glowbox is located. That's the general rule of thumb. That's usually how I find my way back. So let's go see the big blue guy, shall we?
I did it! I knew it would work! I did it!
This is a trippy hallway.
Hey! Who's the king of... Woohoo! Yeah!
Shut up, Glowbox. Alright, there we go. It's time to move on into the next area and finish off this part, shall we? Oh wow, this actually reminds me of one area in Rayman 2, this part by here. Like, I believe it was the sanctuary of water and ice. It's a very neat area. It's very nostalgic to me. But with that, that is it for this part, so thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't be sheepish, people. And when we return next time, we'll be jumping on the pirate ship and moving off to lands unknown. Thanks for watching. See you after. Bye!
You're too late. Reflux und Entrée are already here. They succeed in evoking a lab test, the whole world will up in smoke, dude. Ah, you take this boat and go after them.